another episode of Branching Out with Sierra. In today's episode, we are going to talk about that leadership strength that people bring to the table when they identify a problem, whether it's in their community, in their organization, and they look for solutions. They learn to meet people where they are, remove those barriers or boundaries that prevent people from being successful and getting the results that they need. That's what we're talking about today. Today's episode is called Meeting People Where They Are, Leadership That Removes Barriers. And today's guest is La-Tanya Hines. She is the Director of Love in Action, a beautiful nonprofit here locally, where her focus is increasing access to healthy food for families in underserved communities. She has an amazing background of servant leadership, and I was just spending some time getting to know her a little bit more, and I know you guys will enjoy hearing all that she's doing for our community. Not only today will we talk about how maybe you can even get involved in that cause that's important to you, but how can you tap into that leadership skill of looking at challenges that are coming up, removing barriers, and finding solutions. So welcome, La-Tanya. I'm so excited to have you here today. It's been a long time coming, but
Yes.
We're here, and we're finally going to get to hear more about Love in Action, which I can't wait to hear about. So thank you.
Thank you.
So tell us a little bit about where you're from and your background.
Okay, I am from Woodstock, Virginia, and I have a background in human resources. I was a human resource manager for 10 years. Enjoyed it, but was missing the human element of human resources. So then I started into the nonprofit world and just started as managing a food pantry and liking that. And I was like, this is the direction I want to go in. So I left corporate America to jump into life in the food pantry.
I love that. I love that you found that passion.
Yes.
It's so interesting because I connect with people all the time who I feel like they're just kind of going through the motions. They're in a job or a career that they don't really love. It pays the bills, right? But they're not fully engaged. And so they're trying to figure out, what can I do to be motivated? And I feel like as soon as people find that spark, that passion that they have, it just changes everything. What has that been like for you?
It's exciting. I say every morning when I get up, what can I do? What need can we meet? Who's in need? How do we get resources to them? I really try to, look at it from the end user.
Okay.
So I'm put myself in the shoes of a single mom. I have a child that's 5 that's trying to get to a food pantry. Oh, but my car broke down. Now what do I do? How does it look like from the end user? Who's falling between the cracks? How can we meet them where they're at?
So can you tell me what first drew you to even the food pantry itself?
Yes. So growing up, my mom was a single parent.
Okay.
And she would she had 6 children. And basically whenever my dad would pay child support, it would put her over the threshold for food stamps at that time.
Okay.
So that was a reality that we faced. We didn't have a vehicle. So when we could find a ride to the pantry, we maybe would have food. If it wasn't a fortunate time where child support was paid, it was unfortunate because then we lost the food stamp benefit.
Okay.
So growing up, watching my mom try to navigate through the hurdles that we face as a family, kind of softened my heart. And I was like, oh, well, what does this look like for other people? And where are other people falling between the cracks? So it was a very real example. And like my mom was one of the hardest working individuals that I know. So watching her just navigate that and try to raise the family and do the best that she could with the resources that were there.
So that's powerful that you've had that experience. You're not making assumptions about the barriers. You've experienced the barriers, and I think about that a lot actually, because when I'm considering my clients barriers to success, for example. What's getting in the way because they seem really motivated. They have that thing that they're working towards and something keeps coming up for them. The moment you can identify that barrier, they're not the problem, right? The barrier's the problem. If we can focus on that and remove it, then we have a solution. So what are some of the barriers that you have been working to remove? What does that look like?
Transportation is huge.
Okay.
When we originally started the pantry, there was it was well-intentioned. We don't give cash. We do not give cash under any circumstance, which is a good rule to have.
Yeah.
But what we found was we had people that were using their last $5 for gas in their vehicle. Then they get to your pantry, you give them, they get their food, and then our gas light's on. And clearly you see that their gas light is on. So we said, well, let's just do $5 gift cards.
Okay.
So we did that's dating us, isn't it? Back when $5 would give you a little bit of gas.
Yeah.
Now, not so much. But then that became overwhelming. And then we said, well, what else can we do? So then we started proxies where people could pick up for a neighbor.
Okay.
And now we're moving in a direction of actually going mobile where we will take the food to the need. So transportation is a huge barrier. Also, sometimes one that people don't think about is pride. Let's give it to somebody else that needs it. Well, you need it, and it's okay, to need it. So that's some of the barriers that we find people facing, and trying to remove them. Sometimes it's communication. Sometimes we have Spanish speakers. Sometimes in Winchester, there's a huge deaf population. So watching and, having resources available, Spanish speakers, ASL, instructors, and people that are just fluent in sign language to meet that need. Sometimes unspoken. Sometimes a person will never communicate that, they have they're hearing impaired. So just going ahead of them, I think that removes barriers.
Yeah. Okay. Look, I want to unpack each of those.
Sure.
Okay. So I heard transportation. Let's start there. So first of all, help me to understand what region you are currently serving.
So there's two pantries.
Okay.
We have the USDA pantry, which we're in partnership with Blue Ridge Food Pantry.
Okay.
That is government assistance. That is, jurisdiction regulated, and then that's income restricted.
Okay.
Then we have LEA, Love and Action Food Pantry, which is, donation driven, and doesn't have a boundary.
Okay.
That, if we're so close to the West Virginia line, if somebody from West Virginia comes into the food pantry line and I need food, we're 100% going to serve them.
Okay.
So we do that with unapologetically. I know that, there's different funding circles and things of that nature, but, 10 minutes over the line and you say, hey, I'm hungry, we're going to feed you.
Yeah. So what does going mobile look like?
So we are in the process of purchasing a mobile truck that has a walk-in refrigerator, and it has the ability to temperature control the entire truck. So we've purchased that. It's currently getting remedied. It's sat for 3 years. And we are going to bring produce into rural areas and also dry goods, hygiene products, bringing it into the areas that need it most. So like Section 8 housing, things of that nature.
That's really exciting.
Yes.
Awesome.
We're excited. It's definitely a win for the community.
Yeah. Yeah. All right. So you said transportation is a barrier. What was the next barrier?
Pride.
Pride. Okay.
Pride.
So how often do you see that as a big challenge for people? Is there a level of discomfort when they're even coming to get the service that you're providing? Do you see discomfort?
In the beginning, there's kind of like, oh man, like I've never had to use a food pantry before. We're seeing that more and more, just with the shape of the economy and all. But the more that they're around and the more that people are treated with dignity and respect, it's kind of like, not only am I coming, I'm bringing my friend who's struggling.
Yeah.
So when you treat people the way that they deserve to be treated, not that, they're coming for a handout or,
Right.
it's a hand up.
I like that. I like that mindset. Okay. And then, you hear people talk about food deserts. I hear that
Yes.
all the time, being in a food desert. And every time you see a post about a possible grocery store or something coming to Winchester, you see all the posts about it, right? I want this, I want that.
Right.
What is actually happening? Do we have a true food desert? Is that a challenge right now?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, there is definitely,
Okay.
definitely. And sometimes it's a food desert because of something else.
Okay.
So let's say I'm trying to think of a very good example.
Yeah.
Just this weekend, I seen a post on Facebook. It rips my heart out. 17-year-old in need of food, Middletown area.
Okay.
The individual posted she's disabled. She can't get to the food pantry, but she wanted food for her son. There's no grocery store in Middletown. She does not drive. So that's a food desert. And even if there was 20 grocery stores in that area, the access to that grocery store is non-existent. So we delivered groceries to her. And that's what I mean when you just look one step further. What are the people saying? And how do you remove the barrier? Can you do it? Is it movable? Is it flexible? Is it changing the hours of the pantry? We have a lady that works at a local grocery store that can't get to the pantry when we're open because of her work schedule. So somebody stays back or we deliver the groceries to her.
Yeah. Okay. That makes a lot of sense. I did not even realize Middletown didn't have a grocery store. Are there any other specific areas of challenge like that in our region?
Middletown doesn't have a grocery store. Stephen City, Toms Brook, Maurytown, some of your more rural areas,
Okay.
they don't.
Okay. Good to know. So the other thing you said was communication becoming a barrier. So whether it is, someone Spanish speaking, what does that look like? Do you guys have folks on your team that are Spanish speaking? Do you have someone translating documents, putting out in the community? What does it look like to reach them?
So Blue Ridge Food Pantry is a big partner with us,
Okay.
and they supply a lot of documents in Spanish. Then a lot of times we will have other people interpret for us, partners in the community that will step up. And a lot of times, I think it's called Pocket Talk, where it'll translate on the phone for you.
Oh, interesting.
Yes.
Okay. Yeah, that's great. Oh, and I guess I think Google came out with something too,
Right.
Google Translate that you could
Yes.
use. And then what about ASL?
Sure.
If someone's deaf, what does it look like to reach that population?
So we do have a gentleman that is fluent in ASL. We're getting ready to actually start classes for people that are interested in learning ASL.
Oh, wow. Okay.
And there is a very large population of individuals that are deaf in Winchester. And I mean, I'm so inquisitive. I'm like, how do you know this?
Yeah.
Where did this come from?
Yeah.
And he
Well,
said-
I'm inquisitive too. Tell
Right.
me more.
Right. So the gentleman that interprets for us is his name is Brandon, and he's excellent, very down to earth, and just he provides his service to us. That's one of the ways he volunteers.
Okay.
And he'll tell you, somebody that's hearing impaired is never going to tell you, I'm hearing impaired, or I need somebody to interpret for me, because that's not readily available.
Okay.
So he spends a lot of time educating us, and the team is like, we're the first ones that go through your class, because how important, no matter what you're communicating, if the receiver is not getting
Yeah.
what you're saying,
Communication isn't taking
yes,
place.
it's not taking place.
Yeah.
So
Yeah. I have to tell you, communication is the number one challenge that I get called in for in any organization. And that's when people speak the same exact language, right?
Yes,
and it's still a
yes.
challenge.
Right.
So we have discovered that about 80% of our waking hours were in some form of communication,
Wow.
which is insane, right? And every one of those is an opportunity for miscommunication, for someone to not understand, not interpret
Right.
what I'm sending. So I love that it goes back to creating a solution immediately. You said, okay, so there's this large deaf population in the community. So we're going to start providing these classes, right? And we're going to be the first to take it. I see that that's just how you function. You see a problem and it's what can we do about this? And you're creating a solution. I just love that. Thank you for all that you're doing.
Hey, the community is important and so relevant. And, a lot of times people say, oh, there's a problem. Well, is it a problem or is it a perceived problem? When we do a lot of surveys and we ask people like, hey, would this benefit you? A lot of times people might say, oh, we're going to send this amount of food. Let's just say the motel population. We have a lot of families that live in motels. And we were just doing our needs serving needs as a regular food pantry. And we did these surveys and it came back like, I can't use this and I can't use this. And, oh, you live in a motel. And that was like, wow, we give away a lot of food that can only be prepared in a traditional kitchen. So then we started looking and we were like, okay, so the surveys that we have, we get some hard feedback. Okay. But we have the ability to be flexible and to change. And, okay, well, they said, the bags of rice are nice if you have a full kitchen to cook it in. But I have a mini fridge and a hot plate, or some of our motels don't even offer microwaves. So then what can we do to meet that need? And just really taking the feedback from the individuals and saying, there's no reason that we can't change. Why can't we be more flexible in what we're offering?
Okay. Yeah, that makes sense. So would you say that a lot of the folks that you're supporting do have children at home?
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Thinking about being in the school setting, and I don't even know if you know this about me, but I was a teacher for 10 years.
Oh, wow.
So I taught in Fairfax County Public Schools for 8 years and then City of Winchester for 2. And so, of course, I saw a lot of need as well there in, the school system doing what they can during the school day to provide when there was a need. But I couldn't help but think about what was happening when they were going home and wondering if, the family did have access to anything. So I was wondering what that looked like if you're seeing a lot of support for those families. Okay, so help me to understand kind of your future vision. You're going mobile. Of course, you've got to start with one vehicle and see how that goes and go from there. But you look like a visionary to me. You seem to have a lot of great ideas and you're having a big impact already. But if I could wave a magic wand and make all your dreams come true, where do you see Love in Action going?
Well, we will still replicate the model. And I say the model because we know that there will be other mobile pantries coming to the area, being birthed in the area. We also have a vision of a community center where, there's classes. We like just the educational portion because we know sometimes a food pantry is a Band-Aid on a broken arm. We're currently piloting a couple of programs of budget counseling, and I'll never forget, we gave out whole chickens at the food pantry. And what happened is so many people came back and was like, I don't know what to do with this. They don't know how to prepare a whole chicken, or I have a microwave and I can't cook a whole chicken. So we just reached out to some of the other nonprofits in the area, and we're like, hey, this is the feedback we're getting. What can we do? So there's a church in the area that was like, well, we can offer cooking classes.
That's perfect.
We can, get crock pots and like really meet that need, because processed food is not always great. It's good when there's a need. But when you can do better, when you know better, you do better. So.
Yeah. It has to have nutritional value.
Yes.
It's not just to make you feel full,
right?
I think that part's important. So when you said about going into the community with produce, that's huge. So I'm thinking about the partners that you've mentioned. You've already mentioned several. So who are the major partners in the area that you're working with on a regular basis?
Sure. So we have First Fruit Farms, is not in the area, and that's
Okay.
what's unique to Love in Action. Two of our biggest donors are in the state of Virginia.
Really?
Yes, First Fruit Farms out of Maryland.
Okay.
That's an industrial farm, 250 acres, and their only thing is it can never be sold. Nothing. If they give us fresh tomatoes, then like somebody can't make salsa out of it and sell it. It has to be just given back to the
Yeah.
need.
Okay.
They are huge, huge supporters of us and just great partners, like-minded,
Yeah.
and they are very supportive of us. And then we have another partnership out of West Virginia. It's the Catholic Church there,
Okay.
Deacon Dave and his ministry, and they bring produce to us. And we serve West Virginia, and West Virginia answers, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
They stand up and they're like, you know what, let's find a way, because we know because our pantry operates at night. We have
Okay.
night hours, and it's drive-through. So people that the working poor, they're getting off of work and they're able to come in through the pantry and be serviced.
Okay. Wow. So I love that the partners aren't even based in Virginia. So how did you make those connections?
Well, that's one of the things that we, I'll tell you, it all really started during COVID. COVID
Okay.
made everybody adjust and like, what do we do? And we had partnered with Cisco because schools weren't, taking the food in because nobody was meeting in person. So we started a partnership with Cisco, and they started providing food. And wow, this has taken me way back. We had 15 household refrigerators that we plugged up, and we just said, okay, we're going to figure this out. So during that time, we ended up being able to get a walk-in refrigerator and freezer, and that helped us definitely handle the amount of food that was coming in. So we did Cisco for several years, and then at that point, word of mouth, especially in the nonprofit world, it spread it like wildfire. And they were like, okay, well, what about this? Have you reached out to this person? So that's when like a lot of networking came in, and
Yeah.
it just made those powerful connections.
Yeah. So what have you learned about people and community through these experiences over the past even few years?
Sure. So people are, I think a lot of times what hits social media or in the news is the waste and the fraud that's maybe involved. But genuinely, I have met so many people that are honest, that just, as I said, are looking for that hand up and not that hand out. And the other thing is that our community is so genuinely, they're givers. They want to give to the need, making it easy for them to give, making it easy for them to get involved and to volunteer. People show up and volunteer week after week after week. And usually when I ask them, like, hey, why are you doing this? And it's usually because I remember what it was like. I've been there. So that makes it very key for us as, okay,
Yeah.
it's a lived experience. You understand what it's like to be on the other side of that line.
Yeah. I can see that. It makes a lot of sense. I feel like a lot of people gain a passion through
Yes.
one of those hard experiences. So, what does it look like to get involved? You've mentioned volunteers a couple times in ways that people have been supporting, but what are some key areas you do need support right now? What are you looking for?
Well, there's a lot of, like I have what I call doers. If I say, hey, we have distribution tonight, and they're happy, they're out there, they're with the people. But some of it's more like high level leadership.
Okay.
So marketing. Then there's also like following up with donors and videos and things of that nature.
Yeah, that's a good point. I always think about when we're looking for folks to support a nonprofit, people tend to think, oh, well, I don't have time right now, or I don't have money to give, but they forget about the talent
Yes.
piece and ways that they can support through their talents.
Right.
So, like you even said with marketing, there's somebody out there right
Yes.
now that could be listening to this and they know that their strength is in marketing, and it could take very little time for them because it's their area of expertise to come in and support.
Yes.
So I always think it's helpful to think about what strengths you have and just reach out and see if that strength is a need, because you never know. People tend to make assumptions, oh, I couldn't bring any value because
Right.
I don't have such and such right now. So
Yes.
hopefully this helps you find some of those. So review the needs again. What are some of the high level leadership needs? You need marketing, people to help with maybe video content, that sort
Yes.
of thing. What else?
Following up with donors.
Okay.
That's always a key thing. Like, we definitely want them to know, like, you gave, like, sometimes you give to nonprofit and you're inspired, and then you're like, but what did that really go to? Um, so, basically helping people become aware.
Yeah.
It surprises me every week. We had no idea you were here. And I'm like, what do you mean? What do you mean? Um, yeah. And I say touch point, and I always tell the team, like, let's get out there with the people. Let's find out, like, is this helping? What else can we do? So constantly, like, data collection, things of that nature.
Okay. And then as far as actual food itself, do you feel like you have a good supply of stuff coming in, or is there always a need?
There is always a need. The Leah Food Pantry and Love in Action, we purposely keep our shelves low, because we believe that, why have full shelves in a hungry community? So when you might come in on a Tuesday and see our shelves jammed full, and that product will move during the week. Absolutely.
Okay. Are there any specific needs? You talked about even like hygiene and stuff too. It's not just food. Are there any specific needs beyond food where you're always looking for more and you're just not getting enough?
Honestly, as far as like our clothing boutique, we have a free clothing boutique. Tons of clothing. Like, this community has really stood
Interesting.
up and was
Okay.
like, here
That's
you go.
great.
Um, and the hygiene, like, we are doing very well in that area. We have a private donor that just makes sure that the shelf stays, full. And you know, really, I would say, and I'll go back to food. I know you said besides food, protein is always huge. That is a big
Yeah.
deal. Yeah.
Yeah, you have to think about that. Okay. Yeah, because I feel like so many times people assume canned food, like whatever's canned, because it will last a long time, but that doesn't always mean that it's the healthy option.
Right.
So that makes sense. So where can people learn more about Love in Action?
Sure. On our website, Leah Stevens City, and where you can drop by when we're open. Any volunteer, they own the mission. A lot of people are like, oh, I want to tour the pantry with you. Oh, you're more than welcome to. But any teammate, if you walk up to and you're like, can you tell me the mission? Absolutely, because they get sick of hearing it from me. Like, this is what we're doing, guys. So, but definitely the website has a lot of information on it.
Okay, perfect. Well, we love highlighting local nonprofits. We try to do one once a quarter, and I was so excited to learn more about this. Is there anything else about Love in Action or the need in our community that you wanted to share?
If you take the time to get involved, because there's already a opportunity awaiting you. When you get involved and you really sit down and listen to what the people are saying, you're able to meet that need. You're able to remove that barrier. A lot of our volunteers, some of them have special needs, and a lot of people would disqualify them from the beginning. But they step into it with such passion, and they're so happy, and just to have the ability to come alongside of a mission. So that would be my key, is don't disqualify yourself. I've had people serve from wheelchairs. I've had people serve, hey, my leg is bad. Do you have a job that I can do sitting down? Absolutely. So when I say remove barriers, I'm meaning even for a volunteer.
Yeah.
We can remove that barrier. You want to give back? here's your avenue.
Yeah, there's always a way. I love that. That is a great way to remove the barrier. And maybe this isn't the exact need that they're passionate about, right? There could be so many different ways to get involved in the community, and I think this applies to everything. Slowing down and looking at what problem do I want to be a part of solving in our
Yes.
community, because we have plenty of them,
Yes,
right? Lots
absolutely.
of challenges to overcome. Well, thank you so much, La-Tanya,
Thank
for being
you.
here today. I appreciate it. I'm excited to get the word out about Love in Action. If there's anything else we can do to support you, don't hesitate to ask.
Awesome.
Thanks for everything that you're doing for the community and beyond. I really will be praying for this vision that you have for Love in Action to become a reality. I'm very excited to see everything that you guys are doing right now.
Thank you so much.
Yeah, of course, of course. And thank you for listening in. If you found value in this episode, if you have a passion for giving, whether it's in this area or it's another, I encourage you to do exactly what she's saying. Think about the barriers. They can be removed. So whether it's getting involved here, just reach out, or another cause that you feel like you're being called to help support or overcome a challenge. I guess this is the message you're supposed to be hearing today. Go ahead and jump in and make that phone call, reach out to that person and see what you can do to get involved. As always, we will release another episode on Fridays at noon Eastern Standard Time. So make sure you subscribe so you get those notifications and you know when another episode is coming out. Hopefully this got you thinking about removing barriers, whether it's in your organization or it's in the community. And until next time, keep branching out.